welcome to our 179th episode of Gorilla Radio. It's awards night. We're not dressed up this year. Yes, I need to get some awards music going, but we'll just tap the desk and stuff. So it is awards night. Oh, Jamie's he thinks everything's going to Crown Point. So
not after the weekend they had. I don't think it's going to Crown Point, my friend.
Yeah, they got a couple awards possibly, but
yeah,
it's our awards night. We're gonna go over 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, Wrestlers and Coaches of the Year, Mr. and Miss Gorilla, Girls Coach of the Year, Assistant Coaches of the Year, and then announce the 10 nominees for the inaugural class of Messageboard Hall of Fame. So, a big night. And then after that, go over freshman, sophomore state. So
I'm excited about obviously I'm excited for the awards. I think they're all pretty good. I always think it's pretty cool. I'm excited about the Messageboard Hall of Fame nominees.
Oh, yes, it's good.
That post kind of took off, right?
Yes, it did. And, Garcia's not going to be happy if he doesn't see his name on there. So I will not confirm nor deny if he's on the list. So we
had some parameters of what we're gonna run and some stuff that we're gonna run out there.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna be a good night. Probably not a super long show. Obviously, there's not a ton of wrestling going on.
Yeah, we got some good stuff next weekend. Not this coming weekend. The next. 1A and 2A state is going on now. I did see that.
Let's go.
So that is going on this weekend, and then the next weekend is ISWA state. So, Nathan Wynn's already roiding up for a vote. So,
he's running a script, right?
Yeah. So
I think, dude, I'm happy that 1A 2A is going. I think that's a really cool event. Yeah. I think that this is like the perfect fitting for it, right? Like I think last year was on freshman sophomore state weekend. Now you had freshman sophomore state. We can go 1A 2A right into ISWA. Let's go. Yeah.
So we are going to, I don't know who this person is, and I'm assuming we got some spammers. I mean, obviously we're going to have spammers in the chat tonight because it is a big night, and, we have at least 7 viewers. So,
bro, I get so many people that wanted to sell me hoodies all the time. Dude, it's crazy.
Nice. So
all I need is your social security number.
What's your what?
All I need is your social security number to make you a Crown Point hoodie or whatever. Because we do travel softball. We're the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
So.
Nice. Yeah, I gotta start getting into travel stuff so we get all the so I get some gear because I need more shirts and stuff. I definitely need some more shirts. So yeah, I guess let's go into the awards.
Dun, 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 dun.
So I don't know why mine's the only one that does something fancy, but our first award is the Assistant Coaches of the Year, and that is the Brownsburg Wrestling Coaching Staff Assistant Coaches of the Year. It's a new award that we have done. It's our 3rd year doing it, I believe. So kind of honored
I think so.
More of the coaching staffs that, it's more than just a head coach that does a lot of work. And now, honestly, when you do like a 1A or 2, you do the Coaches of the Year, it's the whole coaching staff, but kind of give it a little bit extra recognition. All their assistant coaches, Smiley and Airsman, Skipper, and I'm not even
Heavyweight Whisperer, bro. Come on.
Yeah, Heavyweight Whisperer. They have a lot of guys that do a lot of good work, and Derek does a good job of letting their guys kind of have work with specific kids, and it's obviously worked out pretty well for them. So that's that one. So there we go with that. So our next one, what do we want to do? Do we want to do 1A Wrestler of the Year?
Yeah, let's do 1A Wrestler of the Year.
Okay, 1A Wrestler of the Year is Mr.
I'm going to be just as surprised as you guys.
Noah Weaver from Rossville.
Pretty good.
That's a pretty easy choice. State champion, one of the first qualifier, or I don't think he was the first qualifier, but first placer, first finalist, first champ, first everything. Had a tremendous season to say the least. So
yeah, we talked about it during the season. Spent some time in the national rankings early on. I believe he had a really good IHPO, right?
Mm-hmm. And Super
killed
32.
it, man. He looked great. I know. We had got some texts to some guys like his defense was really good. Like his attacks were really good. So I know there's a lot of people that were impressed. I'm sure he has a pretty strong connection to Purdue. So maybe the Boilermakers, maybe Coach Vega get on the line.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure his phone's blown up now, especially since he's a junior, and kind of not really. I mean, he had some success at Super 32, but it's kind of really had a real breakout season this year, beating Panola twice pretty handily, and then beating Gunner there too. So he's pretty good. So
yeah, and that was a really tough weight. I mean, obviously Panola's really good. McConnell was in that weight also, returning runner-up. Gunnar Henry, who's been in the national rankings, going to Wyoming, won an incredibly tough 190, and coming back next year too. So maybe a 2-time 1A wrestler of the year.
So we will
maybe Mr. Gorilla in the future.
Yep, he'll be in the mix next year for Mr. Gorilla. So our 1A coach of the year is Tony Abbott from Cowan. What he's done at Cowan is pretty impressive. The program hasn't been around for too long, and really has made that team, pretty good. Consistent guys at state, and it was just a couple years ago. I'm looking up exactly how long he's been there, because 2017. So this is his 4, 5, 6, 9th year there, and 3 times their team state, top 4 twice, and has had multiple qualifiers. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, he had an awesome run at Muncie Southside.
Yeah.
Great run at Muncie Southside before that. State champ.
Yeah.
Beat my guy, Bill Hawkins, for a state title, I believe.
Oh, so we're going to anger Bill tonight?
But really good coach, and everyone that's ever wrestled for him or has been around him talks about how great of a coach he is, and Cowan's got a really good coach. They've done a really good job.
Yep. So we will move on. Our 2A wrestler of the year is Mitchell Betts from Western. Betts.
This was a tight one, right?
Yeah, there's between him and Chase Leach, both state champions. Usually it's a little bit easier than that at 2A because there's usually one champion. And so this one is a little bit tougher. Both had tremendous seasons. Both had one loss and avenged it, or a couple losses, I guess. So it's Betts won a pretty tough weight class, avenging his one loss, and in the finals, and just had a real good season, and first champion since '91. Obviously, Garrett's never had a champion, but pretty good year for him. Pretty good career.
His head coach, right?
Yeah. So, real good career for him. 3-time placer. So, kind of curious where he's going to end up college-wise, too.
Had to run the gauntlet to get to the championship, right? Yeah. Saturday morning, he has to win a tough one over Brabender, who was number 1, who was a semifinalist. And then in the semis, he beat Anthony Cashman, Warren Century, who was also a semifinalist. And then in the finals, he returning state medalist, Adrian Palacio, who was his only loss on the season.
Yep. Yeah, so pretty good run there for him for a title. So congratulations to him. Our 2A coach of the year is Cody LeCount.
Cody looking sharp too, man.
Yeah, he's excited. Got the vest on. Nice plaid shirt. I guess plaid. I don't know what you want to call it. Some Yeah, so yeah, Cody. Obviously, that's a pretty easy one. They won Team State this year. Had pretty impressive year. Qualified 5 or 6 for state. Multiple guys in the semifinals. Pretty easy choice for 2A Coach of the Year there.
He's done a really good job with the Delta Eagles, man. State champ.
Yeah, he's had kind of resurrected that program, and they're going to be a power for a while. It seems they have a lot of young guys and a lot of guys that are doing some good stuff. So we will go on. Let's see. 3A Wrestler of the Year. Easton Doster.
First state champ for the New Haven Bulldogs, right?
Yep, undefeated season. Another, that one was that was a fairly easy choice, mainly because Dave's paying me off. But no.
I know. I'm waiting for these baseball cards, man. I'm running the mailbox every day.
Let's see. Was he the only three? Ron Colley. Shutley was another 3A champ. I think that was basically between those two, if I'm not mistaken. Center Grove, Western, Warren, Garrett, Rossville. Yeah. So it's basically between him and Shutley. Obviously, Shutley's a sophomore. Easton had a tremendous season. Ran the gauntlet also of a pretty tough weight class and came out on top and, won with a lot of really good kids and, obviously impressive season there. So
44 was loaded, and he had to run a gauntlet too. Beat Reese Courtney, returning runner-up, going to Campbell, right?
Yeah.
Beat a really good Zara Walker. Zara had been wrestling really well. I mean, maybe that match goes one way or the other. Maybe Zara's a 3A Wrestler of the Year too. Easton wrestled great all season. I think as it got further away from the season, you found out that he was injured during the year. Had to have a small procedure. They had to deal with some adversity, and I think a lot of these guys do it through the season, and it's really hard, man, being a teenager and kind of stuff that he was dealing with, and still persevered and came out on top, and he's coming back for another year.
Yep. So yeah, and Zara Walker, he beat 2 D1 guys in the last 2 matches, so that's pretty impressive. So 3A Coach of the Year is Brandon Sisson from Floyd Central, the Highlanders. So
the jump rope king, man.
Yes, the jump rope king. They won 3A Team State this year, 2 state runner-ups, a couple others that were in the mix. Great coach, great guy, and I know he will be the first one to say this is, for my assistants and everything. I know he's very, appreciative of the assistants he has at his school. And like I said earlier, these awards are probably more for a coaching staff of the year than just one coach. I mean, he'll admit he can't do it himself, and definitely gives a lot of credit to his assistants.
Oh yeah, I mean I think that's like one of the things of like great staffs is there's a lot of people helping out. There's a lot of guys with not a lot of ego, kind of letting them go.
Yeah.
Nathan Wentz at Fort Wayne dominating these awards so far.
Now we had to give us a Southern award, so Triple B didn't protest and quit doing rankings. So
that's what I heard. I heard he said he's bringing up a new hashtag.
So 4A Wrestler of the Year, Jake Hockaday, 3-time state champion, knocked off another state champ on his way to a title. So,
man,
can't say
that's
too much.
I think one of the most impressive things, right?
Yeah. If you look at his hit list is pretty impressive, and he's not afraid to go after good guys. I mean, you look at someone like Gavin Gendris, who was a guy he wrestled his freshman year in the finals. I mean, that's if that's your weakest opponent you've wrestled in the state semifinals or finals, that's pretty darn good because he's gonna go. He's a 4-time medalist. Him and who he's beaten in the semifinals and finals these past few years is just pretty impressive.
Oh, dude, ridiculous. And I think that he's it'll be interesting to see where he lands next year, because that's kind of been like beat Ashton Jackson last year, who's at Purdue, 2-time champ. Beat Tylen Thrine this year, who was a returning champ, undefeated in his high school career. And I think he's only getting better. Every time I see him, I feel like he's getting better.
Yeah.
Which is a testament to him, because I think, some guys get success and then they coast, and he hasn't. Like, I think he's more explosive, more dangerous, more exciting to watch now than he was 6 months ago.
Yeah. He's just gonna keep getting better, and has obviously goals that are higher than just being a state champion, and that's what's gonna drive him to be better. So, and the 4A Coach of the Year is shouting Derek Snyder.
Yeah.
I could not find a good picture of him, so Derek's gonna love this picture.
Derek got a nice interview on like their local news. Like in the region, we don't have like a local news broadcast. We get Chicago news, so we get Cubs signings. Congratulations, get Cody Bellinger back.
Yes.
And so I seen that they were on the Indianapolis news, which was really cool. Jake and Dickman and Derek, and Derek always well spoken on those events and does a great job. That was really cool, man. He's just a different dude, right? Like, just hearing him talk about wrestling, and hearing the way he like handles things and different things like that. It's just different than a lot of people, and I think a lot of the top guys have a different vibe. Like, we're pretty lucky that we get to talk to those guys and be in some of those situations and kind of pick their brains a little bit. He does an amazing job.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. And, like we said earlier about the assistants and stuff, and he has he has some guys that Smiley's been a head coach and was having some a little bit of success at Plainfield. Erzman obviously could be a head coach anywhere he wants to if a job up in the region opens up.
Hey, every time a job opens in the region, and they ask like who I suggest, I always say, man, if you can get Kyle Erzman out of Brownsburg, I think he'll change your program.
Yeah, but
he's not.
Keeping guys like that around is huge, and that he does a great job with that, and that's huge to keep that program where the program is going to be where it is because of assistant coaches, guys doing that, and he doesn't have to do all the work, and he can do other things, and it's excuse me, it's a well-oiled machine, and they keep doing a lot of good stuff there. So, okay. Congratulations
to Brenton Russell. I think Justin Plank just said he's going to West Point. That's pretty awesome. Not only on the wrestling side, but just overall.
Yeah, that's a real good place to go. You get a free education, a very good education, and then a guaranteed job after school. That's for like 5 years after school. That's not too shabby. Free, pretty much an Ivy League education for free, and then you get a job that pays pretty well from what I've gathered. So, yeah.
Snyder getting a lot of love right now in the comments from the South Bend section.
Nice. Yes, he is. South Bend loves Snyder, so we will go.
Dude, he's really good.
Yeah.
I think one of those things, like, I don't really see him panic a lot. You don't see, and I think that's like when you look over there, and like someone told me this a long time ago. Like, if your team sees you panic, they're gonna panic, right? And like, I don't ever feel like I look over and Derek's like panicked.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's always kind of like calm, and then like he lets his guys get in there. You see his coach. He doesn't have the ego that I think one year I asked, like, man, like, I didn't feel like he sat in the corner for anybody. And I think that he did a really good job of just like, hey, I'm going to let these guys do it, man. And just took a step back.
Yeah. During the COVID year, he wasn't on the floor the second day. And I remember seeing him up in the sequestered section. I'm like, you not coaching or what? You retiring? Kind of just giving him a hard time. He's like, no, man, those aren't my guys. And we only had so many passes, and, they're, I can't, it's better for those guys to be in those those kids' corners, and it's bigger than me, is basically what he said, and it's interesting. You see that with Crown Point, you see that with Center Grove, and you see that with a lot of programs. Where the coaches will the head coaches will step aside and say, hey, you know what? The assistants are the ones that work with those guys. They're the ones that are, doing the scouting reports and working on technique and all that kind of stuff. He's like, why am I going to step in here when these two guys have a good relationship with this kid and, use my ego like I'm the head coach. I'm going to, and that's something. It's why those programs are doing well, and that's why other programs do well. Also, there's other programs that do a lot of the same things when they have a handful of assistants that can, there's no need to be in the corner as a head coach unless, you're really working.
Well, I had that talk with Cameron when we were talking about McGinley getting his 100.
McGinley too, yes, that's a good one.
And I think he said that he'd be the first one to tell you that like. It's a team. Like obviously, like you see a lot of those guys. Like you see Mo Guns in the table. You see Seltzer in the corner. You see, Anthony Bills. You see Venezia. Like you see a lot of different guys over there. And he's had like a good amount of people through the years be in that corner where it doesn't always have to be him, right?
Yeah. And that's he's another. And obviously, like I told. McGinley, hey, congrats on the 100 placers. That's pretty impressive. And, he knows, excuse me. He is like, whatever, but it's bigger than him. And that's the biggest thing as a coach, that it is hard to like say, I'm the head coach. And then, but it's just like a football coach or, saying, hey, I'm not the defensive coordinator, call the defensive plays because that's his job. I'm not gonna overstep his bound. I put him in that position because I trust him to be defensive coordinator, just like he trusts Ayersman and Smiley to coach Dickman and Hockaday. He puts those coaches in that position. Hey, that's your guy. Coach him. If you suck at coaching him, I'm gonna step in the corner. But that type of stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, and I think like you hit it on the nose. A lot of the top programs have that, and that's a luxury too. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I understand like bigger programs are going to be able to have more coaches. Mm-hmm. They're going to find more ways to have coaches in there, and but it's so important to surround yourself with the right people. And I think those guys have, right?
Yep. Yeah, and definitely. Yeah, and like as we said, it's a juggling act. You got to keep all your guys happy, all the assistants happy, and treat them right. Give them some money. Find some money for them, find some, do whatever you need to do to make them, to keep them around and say, I think I've heard some things about some Derek helping, make sure his assistants are paid well and stuff. And that's huge. That's how you keep assistants and you keep guys around and you treat them right and give them those guys to coach and say, hey man, you go sit in the corner for those guys that, I'm the head. I might be the head coach, but you're that guy. So, but yeah. Anyway, we will.
Congratulations.
Yep, congratulations. We will move on to the girls' coach of the year, Jimmy Lynn from New Haven. Obviously, he had a real good year, and in all facets of the coaching realm, won a girls' state title.
Yeah.
Sectional regional titles. See, I was sick. And then obviously had his first state champ. And go ahead.
No, you got. I said you got more.
And a girls state placer, state champion. Had quite a year. So congratulations to him. Super great guy, and has a good thing going at New Haven right now.
Yeah, he does. And like the list of accomplishments this year of first, right? First female state medalist, first girls state championship, first state champ. Not a bad year for Coach Lynn. Congratulations.
Yeah. Yep. So we will move
when
on.
You're hitting a lot of those first in your program, first in the state. It's pretty good.
Yeah. So, so now we will go over the Miss Gorilla reverse order of who for our Gorilla Awards. So I don't have a.
Do you want to explain how this kind of goes?
Yeah, Mr. and Miss Gorilla is okay. The awards we just announced were all kind of suggested by me and kind of just confirmed by everyone in our group chat, all the workers with IndianaMat. Usually they're pretty simple. Sometimes we go back and forth. So that's all IndianaMat owned and operated. So if you don't like them, complain to me and yell at me, I guess. So there goes my phone. No. So yes. So
we're gonna run this like elementary wrestling. You gotta yell at me first, and then get to me to get to Joe.
Yes. So so the Mr. and Miss Gorilla Award, we send out a ballot to select coaches and others involved in the sport. The girls, coaches, anyone that's a former winner gets a vote. We've expanded media members, IndianaMat people. Try to get as many people as possible. We have about 25 to 30 for the girls. We have about 40 for the guys. Most vote, some do not, and that is, I guess, your way of voting. If you don't vote,
mine's on the Hall of Fame. I hear you. I hear what you're doing right there.
Yes.
I just don't want to see the greatest players of my generation in. All right.
So, yep. So, hey, we'll do the Hall of Fame stuff in a minute. Relax. So, yeah. So they vote for their top 5. You get 5 points for a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 for your votes, and retally it up, and that's who the winner is. So it is a community vote by coaches, media, administrators, just a lot of people that a list I've amassed over the years. So, so our Miss Gorilla, number 3, is Ellie Genovikowski from Lake Central. So congratulations to her.
Yeah, I saw her at that Highland opening night. She's really good. I thought she wrestled really well. So I actually saw her live. She did a really good job.
Yeah. Let me see. I was going to pull something up here. Where is...
So I also asked for some input on my vote. I think I was the first one to return my ballot. I always try to be the first one to return.
Yes. Yeah, she was a 2-time state champ, 2nd and 4th also. So go ahead.
Pretty good career for Ellie.
Yeah.
I had one of my softball girls that wrestles for Rensselaer help me on the vote. So I showed her hey, this is what I'm thinking. Who do you think's? And then we kind of mixed and matched, and they were pretty close. So all right, then we're on the same page. I turned them in. So thank you, Kylie. I appreciate you.
I guess for the gorillas, I need to also be specific. This is there's only one rule in voting, and it must be a senior. Basically, you decide what all the voters, we kind of give you some suggestions: undefeated, fewer losses, domination, level of competition, body of work previous to senior year, state and national resumes, character, grades. That you get to define what you think the Gorilla Award is, Mr. or Miss, and then go from there. So we kind of leave it very open-ended. So, and we get quite a few different votes, and that's how it's meant to be. So, just as a heads up, the only thing that it must be is a senior. So,
sometimes I side eye your votes, guys. When Joe tells me, I give them the side eye, just so you guys know.
So, number 2, second place Miss Gorilla is Varsity Bachelor of Northview, 3-time state champ, 1-time runner-up. Had a great career for her. So, congratulations to her. She was a, 3-time state champ, and that's pretty impressive. And then this year's Miss Gorilla is Rose Kaplan from West Lafayette, 2-time runner-up, 2-time champion. Really a pretty great career for her.
100%. And Red Devils, man, congratulations.
Yep. So, Mr. Gorilla Awards. Our top 3. Number 3, Kyrell Lavelle. 2-time state champion, 2-time third placer. Pretty impressive career going on to Citadel.
This was a really close vote. I mean, we were kind of I think there was it the top 5 were really close?
The top 3 were separated by about 12 points, which is, there were 6 points difference between first and second and third. So I mean that's just a couple votes. That's a couple fives versus threes, things like that. So real close vote here. Not everyone was on every ballot, which is pretty
rare,
interesting. You only have 5 spots, and we had enough people that it was hard to put everyone, put all the top guys on one ballot, but it is very interesting to see there. So yes, excuse me.
And it was a close race. Like doing the vote, it was a lot more difficult than in years past, because I think there was a lot of times where it's like, okay, this is the guy, right? Mm-hmm. And then even this is kind of like the Baseball Hall of Fame. Like there's always a year where someone leaves someone off, and you're like, I wonder why that happened.
Yeah,
like Jesse, like someone left Jesse off a ballot, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you might want to. I mean, yeah, that was a. All 3 of these guys had 11. Actually, the second place guy had 15 first place votes, and the first place had 14, which is very interesting too. So, so they all had 10 plus votes. We had 43 people voted. So, it's pretty impressive. Just real close vote, and a lot of these guys got quite a few votes. So, Kyrell Lavelle, number 3. And Mr. Gorilla second was Will Clark, 2-time state champion, heading to Buffalo for football. Hope he likes cold weather and snow.
Bro, dude, I was so sad today, honestly. It went from like 75 to 27 degrees.
Yes, yes.
When they canceled that Bills game this playoff and moved it, I was thinking, man, I can't believe Joe Clark's letting these boys go up there. You couldn't pay me to go live in Buffalo. So congratulations. They're going to go be what's the Buffalo mascot? Is it
the Bulls?
The Buffalo Bulls. Congratulations to those guys. Hopefully Will plays in the league and Paul plays in the league. That'll be exciting. I know the guy that we did speedy conditioning with, he thinks that Paul's like a special athlete and that he's got NFL written all over him. So congratulations.
That's awesome.
I like that at the Al Smith they stamped their hands, right?
Yeah.
And then when we got these pictures,
I didn't notice that.
I like to say that I think he was out in the club the night before.
Nice. I didn't even see that until you mentioned that. So our Mr. Gorilla this year pretty much epitomizes what we kind of consider this awards at times. Wyatt Krejcia, absolute animal on the mat. I need to probably draw a black eye on him just so it looks better.
I know. I felt like he had a black eye the whole year. Did you get one of those touch-ups? He got it out.
They must have. He has a little bit of one going there, yeah. But pretty. I mean, just an absolutely impressive year for him. Great kid heading off to Purdue. I think he's gonna do real well at the college level, especially with the 3-point takedown. Very well deserved, and just kind of just took big steps every year, and knew he was pretty good last year, and then came through this year and just manhandled everybody in his way. So definitely well deserved for that. So
Garcia, streets of Muncie too, bro. Started off in the streets of Muncie.
And another Fort Wayne guy. So
allegedly.
So, and he does have a shirt coming. If he's listening, my mailman must have been on strike and not took it out of my mailbox, so I had to actually go to the post office and throw it in there. So it is coming. Should be there tomorrow. So sorry about that. Don't hurt me, please. So our next order of business is announcing the 10 nominations for the
10 nominations
Hall of Fame.
We had some parameters, right?
Yep. What I put it on? Oh, geez, someone's already posting again. Let's see. Where's our? I think we had. Garcia had some great ideas about so many years
Chris,
and stuff. Did I put that in our group chat or did I put it on the board? think I must just put it in our group chat. So let me read these off real quick. Basically, oh yeah, there. Oh, it's in my document. There it is. I'll find it eventually. Mr. Gorilla. There we go. No admins or staff. So that kind of, yeah, we can't vote for ourselves. That's kind of like, I mean, that's like, yeah, we're not those people. We're not those people that vote for outstanding wrestler and vote for your own kid.
Dude, oh man, nothing makes me more mad. The coach that turns in the outstanding wrestler before the finals, and then the coach that votes for their kid that took 5th. Like,
yeah.
You know darn well that kid wasn't the top guy here. Stop that.
He finished 4th.
Now,
yeah.
Now I'm gonna like tear the vote up, and I'm gonna vote for you.
Yes. Can only go in under one name. So we know a few people that have aliasi. So that means plural aliases. So you can only go under one name. You have to choose your cap, just like Andre Dawson. He's changing back. He wants to be a Cub now, and so we did model this after the Baseball Hall of Fame. Been a member for at least 5 years. Active.
Garcia said 10. We thought 10 was a little too much, but five strong, I think.
Yeah. Yes, we'll be 5 years, and be active, basically an active member for 5 years. You can't just be done after your kid's done, and you can't be like a one and doneer. Obviously we know who the Rookie of the Year was this year, Dog Pound Red.
Dog Pound Red, Rookie of the Year, man. He stirred it up for sure.
Yes.
Like, now that we've taken a step away from the season, he definitely brought. Man, obviously I'm not checking my phone the whole time, like at the state finals. But like that night, or that next day, bro, they were going at him on that post.
Yes. The people that did have internet in Evansville were going after him.
Yeah, 0% chance. I don't know what phone service you need in Evansville, but man, I think that's what shut AT&T down.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Dog Pound is a 70-year-old rookie. Hey, you make it the league, you make it the league. No matter the age.
Hey, we don't care what you do. You can be behind any screen name you want. As long as you bring good stuff and you're not trying to fight people, I'm all for it. Yes. I thought he brought a lot of excitement this year.
Yeah. So, innovative. The next rule is innovative and fun. You can poke some people, but as long as you, honestly, I think one of the requirements should be like you've had to at least been banned once. Because I think half of these guys have been banned at least once.
Yeah, I think at least some of them had to be like petitioned to be back.
Let's see, one. I don't know if he was.
I don't know if General Heavy Hands is in the chat, but bro, I'm literally like, I feel like if he gets in on the first ballot, I need to be like the one that inducts him. Like, because man, he was banned for a while, and I was like, come on, Joe, we got to bring him back. He's not that bad.
Mike, yeah. So yes, yeah, and then obviously the last one. This is all in fun. It's just to add some flavor to the board and just have some fun with it. So don't take it too personal.
This is something I've been wanting for years, though.
Yeah.
Come on, tell how long have I been saying I wanted to do this award?
So yeah, we have 10 nominees. 5 will go in this year, and then after that, I think we'll have probably between 5 and 10 nominees, and about 3 people come in each year. That's kind of what we're thinking of. We don't want to put everyone in the first couple of years and then have to dig out people like Mr. Wright or something to put in there.
Hey, Mr. Wright came back strong this year. Don't come at that guy.
Well, we're not going to charge him with impersonating you or anything?
Dude, I think I was telling him, I don't know. I have to see what we have tomorrow for softball. Dude, I'm coaching at Andrean now. When I got back from state, I didn't have to go in for an interview or anything. They just said, hey, welcome to the staff. So I had to do all my do you guys have to do all this like concussion protocol stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Bro, I had to do all that last night. It was terrible. It's long. I had to do it for work a lot of times, so I was like doubling up. Yeah. But so I have to see what's going on, but I might go stop in at RWA tomorrow, hang out with my brother. Maybe hand out some IndianaMat stickers that Joe had that I put in my bag, so I have some IndianaMat stickers to give out.
I kind of wondered what happened to those.
I got them.
Don't worry, I have my John Goldsberry / Joe Caprino.
Twins, bro, I'm telling you.
But
yeah, I think not changing your screen name, but I think only going under one screen name is big because we want your most prolific screen name. We want the one that you're notorious for, right?
Yes. So, are we ready for the? I made a video. This is how big time this is. We made a video. I'll release it on the board when we have the vote, and it will be all a fan vote. They all have. You can vote for. I think I'll have it set up for you can vote for 2 people.
Eric said he got banned from Twin Peaks. Tell him when you get banned from a Hooters, bro. Troy Hahn was over here. Got invited me to Hooters yesterday to go catch a lesson.
Nice.
Troy Hahn was staying by my house.
So here's a video. It does have sound when you play it online, but here are our nominees.
The 10 nominees. Messageboard Hall of Fame.
So our nominees are FC Fighter 170, The Heavy Hands, Greco Ref, Hook and Half.
R.I.P. Greco Ref, right? R.I.P.
Yep, great dude. Matty B, Matt M. So we got we got a Matt B and a Matt M. So don't get them mixed up. Region Rat 1. He made a return. He made a return this year and probably might have got him in the Hall of Fame. Team Garcia, the Ancient Elder. Another one, rest in peace.
Also rest in peace.
And then Wrestling Scholar.
So we kind of came on this. We had a post going, and we were having people nominate. You couldn't nominate yourself, and this is kind of what people were. Multiple things. I mean, some of it Greco Ref was amazing. He did an amazing job. He would answer questions. He wasn't like a trash talker on there. Just a very knowledgeable wrestling fan and as an official. Yeah. Tom Clark. So, Ancient Elder, basically a historian, one of the greatest historian. Dick Neal. If you bought the old Echoes of the Elder book, it has almost every state finals note in there from until 2004.
Yeah. He. I think it went through 2003 because 2004 was the first time Garrett had a state qualifier. So, yes.
Obviously, who are Johnny, FC Fighter 170. No one loves Newcastle wrestling like FC Fighter.
No. No one does.
He might like Newcastle wrestling more than Rex Peckinpah. He's definitely he'll tell you about Newcastle wrestling history.
Excuse me.
Who else is on there? Matty B. Matty B obviously has been doing it for a while, man. He's had 2 boys run through. He was part of the original hashtag, the county crew with Team Garcia. Team Garcia's on there. I was one of the people that felt like if we were doing a Hall of Fame and Team Garcia wasn't on there, then what are we doing a Hall of Fame for, right?
Yeah. I just hope Garcia doesn't slack off and just man, I've reached my goal, my lifetime goal, and then just stop posting. That's my biggest fear.
Yeah, I know. I think it's gonna happen every year, and it never does, right?
Yes.
General Heavy Hands. He's taking some timeouts. He put his life on the line one time for some street cred on the site. I love him. No one loves the Fort Wayne semi-state as much as Heavy Hands. That dude's gonna tell you about how Snyder's rising up 100%. He will literally stop you from announcing a tournament to tell you that he told you that someone was gonna be good from Fort Wayne. Literally, I'm on the hot mic talking to the whole crowd, and he's like, "Hey, I done told you. I got this guy." Dude, amazing people. Who else was on there?
Hook and Half.
Hook and Half. If you went to Evansville and you didn't read a Hook and Half write-up, then you missed out. That dude's a legend. Also a historian, wrote the Modern Day book.
Yeah, that's a real good book. Just Modern Day history. Matt M. I don't think he said anything about him.
I don't believe. Is that the last? Hold on, Matt Amenhoas?
Wrestling Scholar.
Oh, dude. Taco Bet Central, man. Let's go.
Yes.
No one's done more taco bets with me than the Wrestling Scholar, man. That's my guy.
Yeah.
Steve's my dude, man. I like that guy. I seen Joe Hansen's campaigning for him to get into the Hall of Fame. They had Hobart and Harrison had a nice little rivalry going. Probably one of my favorite videos Joe ever made was like me. Probably like one of the most heated I've ever been on the site. Was over like Harrison getting into Team State over like Perry Meridian.
I wish I could find that one. I tried finding it and that site had gone down. I wish I'd have like saved that. Oh, that stirred the pot. That was a classic.
Dude, honestly there was nothing that I was as upset about at that point in my life. I don't even know what was going on. I don't know if there was some background stuff in my life going on. But, man, that had me. So that's my dude, man. We formed a friendship, formed a bond over that. We finessed them to get into Tom Cameron so we can get a Hobart-Harrison duel every year.
Nice. Yeah. So we got the 10 nominees. Should we allow people to vote for 2 or 3?
I think you get 3 votes, man.
3 votes? Okay.
3 votes. Top 5 get in?
Yep, top 5 get in, and it is on the website now, so you can submit your votes. You can even watch the fancy video I made of who the nominees are.
What percentage you get taken off the ballot?
What do you mean?
You gotta get over 30% to stay on.
Nah, I think you'll stay on. You get 5 years. You get 5 years. If you can't make it in 5 years, you have to go to the Hall of Fame Old Timers Committee or something.
Then we're gonna ask the guys that got in those 5 years if you should be in.
Yeah,
because they're gonna have a lot of opinions.
Yes,
I would tell you this: the people on that list and the next 10 that we have on the list that'll be like the next couple classes, which a lot of the guys that are commenting on here are on there.
Yes,
are guys that have very strong opinions about Indiana wrestling.
Yes. Yeah, so we will. I already have a list of about 12 others that are probably next in line. So, so just post a lot, and you'll get. We've had pretty active board this year, so hopefully that continues. I know when we started the website, it was a lot more active, but that was also the only way to communicate with people. So
yeah, I told someone this at the beginning of the year. We can't control your social media. So like if we could, we would have a lot better social media in the world. We know less about your personal life.
Yeah. And
everybody, not my personal life and your personal life, but everyone on my Facebook or Twitter or my Snapchat storyline. We know a lot less about what's going on here every day. Mm-hmm. But you can go post whatever you want there and it's not regulated. You go to IndianaMat, you can't challenge someone to a fight. You can't, bash kids. You can't be a 40-year-old guy in your basement talking about how you hate so-and-so from this school. We kind of keep that off the board.
Yeah. Yeah. So, oh, man. Already got some votes. Some people are already voting, so that's good to see. And we can see who voted.
Who's in the early lead?
Greco Ref. Right now.
Greco Ref is a good one.
Yep. That's who I voted for. I'll tell you my votes.
I haven't voted for anyone.
Actually, you can probably. I'm assuming you can probably see them. I know I can, but I voted for Greco Ref and Ancient Elder. Those are my first 2 votes. So yeah, man. If Garcia doesn't get in, will he riot?
Yeah, I think so. We'll get a new hashtag. I think Triple B will probably take up the mantle. I think obviously Team Garcia and Matty B represent the South. Yeah. I think that'll be the new. Let Floyd in. Yes,
let them in. Special committee vote. So yeah, it'll be interesting.
On hashtag the county Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Oh, there's Heavy Hands. He has a vote now. Garcia doesn't have any votes yet. Man, is Fred's not online yet or what? Will he vote for himself?
He just said if he doesn't get in.
I'll get banned. Let's see.
Yes, I always thought this was a really cool thing because honestly, we have such a great community, and I think it's really cool to just to see, what everyone does and how it keeps interconnected. And I think going to like state the last couple. Once we put our face out there, was one of those things. I'll be the first to admit it. I think when we started doing the originally Google Hangouts, Joe's like, we should do this show, and I was like, who wants to watch that? Like, no one wants to talk about rankings. No one's gonna watch that. And he's like, no, I think people will. And I was like, I don't think so. And then there was a period when we were doing the show with Nick, and Nick was on the original shows, and then Nick was on. Me and Nick did the squeeze when Joe was like in his full coaching mode, and then Gorilla Radio came on, and dude. So when we've been out there, like people just come up and they'll be like, "I'm so and so from the board," or "I'm what," which is really cool. Yeah. I think it just shows like how close like the site's brought Indiana wrestling.
Yeah, it's awesome to meet the people, and obviously we've known some of these guys for a while. I've never met Region Rat. Never met Matt M, believe it or not. I've talked to Hook and Half a little bit. I've never officially met Johnny, so that's an interesting one.
I met Johnny. Me and Johnny, when I had a couple beers one year. Hey, there's a lot of times if you're out, you can find me running while I was in the streets of Evansville, like last time, and then usually in the streets of Indianapolis, so I'm out and about, see a lot of coaches, a lot of hanging out, get a lot of stories.
Yeah, no, so I haven't met Wrestling Scholar, so I haven't met very many of these guys. That should be a requirement. I will have to have shaken your hand and met you personally.
Do you get a plaque if you get in? We're gonna put a spot on the site. Do you get a bust? Is it your picture?
I've been working on a designation on your profile, so I was testing that a little bit today. I'll see what the plaques cost. I gotta order a bunch of them because I did not get last year's plaques. So if you did get an award last year, I'm getting it. They just didn't come in on time, so I gotta go through a different person. So
yeah, you get 20 million bananas.
Yes,
bro. What did the bananas buy?
It was just like a currency, and you never really could buy anything. It was kind of hard to keep up with, so I kind of...
There you go. Hey, first vote for Team Garcia right here.
Nice.
On the message board site. If I ever got in, if I quit the site and I'm not on the staff anymore, I want the ice creams. I want the ice creams logo. I think my profile's outlasted Pharrell's brand of ice creams.
Nice. Yes. So yeah, this is. Can you see the? Or I guess you're an admin.
I can. If I click on it, I can see.
Yeah, I wonder if I don't know if everyone can see it. Their votes. I don't know if I made that. I always wonder. People are always like, "Oh, you." No. Let me see. I might have to sign in under one of my secret names. Let's see. I gotta remember The bad thing about having
burner accounts.
You gotta remember the email addresses now that you use to sign up. Let's see if this is the
Mine's
right
Kevin
one.
Durant.
So, ooh. I guess we're gonna find out. You may or may not find one of my burner accounts.
Dave said the card's in the envelope. Mike, going to the mail tomorrow.
No.
Can't wait.
Okay, so no, they cannot. Should I make that public?
I don't know.
I think we'll leave it to admins only. I don't think I want to. We don't need to start any fights and threats, but we can as admins, just so you know.
Greco Ref still in first right now.
10 minutes. Let's see. We've had quite a few. Yep, Greco Ref. Oh, General Heavy Hands is in second, and then we got a three-way tie for third for the last.
I think this whole class could have been a good one. Yeah. I mean, the next class is good too. When you set the next class too, I was like, oh man, like there's some really good ones in there too.
Yeah, I tried to go through some of the older people. I mean, these are all not. I mean, I have a list of ones that probably should be on there. A couple maybe were innovators in the beginning and caused a lot of trouble. Might not be around very much anymore, but we'll figure it out once we get our first class in, and we'll add 3 or 4 more to the list and go from there. So I'm excited. I know it's I know some people are. It's going to be interesting watching these votes, and we'll pump this out and announce the
we can
winners
get him
on Monday.
a T-shirt that says "Messageboard Hall of Fame."
We could do that.
IndianaMat Messageboard Hall of Famer.
Yes, and Newkirk second ballot. He's on the list, but he hasn't been around for 5 years there, Brett. And I don't even know if he actually got on. See, the bad thing is some of these guys that people are nominating never made it to this board.
Yeah.
So
I think like some of the ones on the board, like, and obviously there's people that are more active now. So like you see, guys like like Blue and Gold, right? Blue and Gold makes a ton. Like Riddle makes a ton of posts. Like I love what he does. And he's like one of the guys that are creating posts all the time now.
Yeah.
But like it's been a small window, but I think he's here for the long haul.
Oh yeah, he definitely creates some good topics of discussion. Whether you agree with some of the things he says or not, it's like it makes you think a little bit. Like, that'd be So
I think like a guy like and some of those guys like Tyson Nisley, right? Like Tyson Nisley, I think would be way more active after his like college career is done. But his articles and stuff have been really good.
Oh yeah.
So like there's definitely like some younger guys like that, and like you have to be on there for a while, and you have to be like creative for a while. You don't want like people to go softer as like as they get older.
Yep.
Like that's why I gave Garcia the vote, man. Like he's had the same energy from his Avon days, Young Guns, hashtag Young Gun days, to hashtag the county. What are they now? The
Purple Dogs.
They just hashtag the county. Broken Towel Rack.
Yeah.
Does that one fall under like staff because he used to be staff? Torch Chair and Broken Torch Chair wasn't staff, but Broken Towel Rack was.
Yeah. Oh. I'm dying over here, but yes. I think when you've been out of the staff realm for 5 or more years, you probably can go back into maybe if he makes some more. Yeah, he's an interesting one because he was active and then hasn't been active very much because he's busy doing other things like having kids and stuff.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, yes.
Had a kid today, right?
Yeah. I tried calling him yesterday. He's like, kind of busy. I'll give you a call later. And then he sends me a text that, I'm like, I guess you're a little busy. Don't worry about my call.
We haven't seen Cosgrove fan in a while either. Do you feel like it's because he went to Crown Point? They turned the Cosgrove fan turned their back on him.
Possibly, yeah. He actually he may or may not have been banned because he got a little. I'd have to go, let me check.
We used to have a post Hall of Fame too, but that was on a private board.
Yeah. It's Brennan fan, wasn't it?
Yeah, Brennan fan. It was a Brennan fan.
Yeah, he was a little. Was he banned? Edit? No, he's not banned. I don't think so. He just hasn't.
Team Garcia jumps to the lead, 6 votes.
Yeah.
How long is the voting gonna be open for?
So by Monday afternoon. Till we have to go online. Till we go to the show. Probably should edit that. So we'll know who's by then.
What if that's true? What if Brennan fan is Dog Pound Red? They kind of have the same like writing style too.
Yeah, maybe. Brennan fan hasn't. He logged in November of 2022. Hasn't been around for. I know he got a little bit of a trouble in 2017. But yeah.
What has there ever been a poster that someone asked who that is more than Dog Pound Red? I feel like I was asked more this year about who a poster is.
Probably one of the he's up there. I mean, there's been some other ones that people have asked, like, who is that guy? And
okay, I said the second one is Region Rat. People ask me all the time who Region Rat is.
Yeah.
And I have no clue.
I know who it is. Yeah, I know who that is, but I know he he had a son that wrestled at one time for a while.
I remember you telling me who it was.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he stayed around a little bit after his son had been done wrestling, and then he's off for about 5 or 6 years, maybe longer, and then came back this year. So that got him on the ballot. So
best radio star award. I mean, I don't know, Rex. It might go to Dane. Dane might be the hardest working man in radio.
Now we gotta have a Indiana Wrestling Radio Hall of Fame.
I thought that was the award they won. I thought they're in the Hall of Fame already.
Yeah, because Dayton was media. Was that not the WCBD Radio Weekly? Haggard, Hershey, and Zelt?
Yeah, did he get in for the Decatur? What is it? The Daily Decatur. What is this paper?
Decatur Daily Democrat.
Oh.
So, okay. Do we want
to
talk
about Daily Planet? My fault.
Do we want to talk about freshman sophomore state a little bit?
I do. It's one of my favorite events.
Yeah, really good event this year. Obviously, it's something that you use for rankings, especially upper weights.
I think you can draw a straight line to probably freshman, sophomore state 3 and 4 years ago and see a lot of the same guys placing at that they placed this past weekend. Maybe not in the same place, but a lot of the same guys that were in that event got medals in Evansville. That's going to be weird. I'm going to mess that up.
Yeah. What the
we're still waiting on our Hall of Fame call.
Yeah, yes. My phone's on silent.
Yep. So, still waiting on our Hall of Fame call.
So yeah, freshman sophomore state's really, really done a great job of just pointing out, picking out those guys to keep an eye on for the next couple years, and guys that might have been backups, might have gotten hurt, might have just had a bad jaw, and it's like, okay, so, and then they're right back in the saddle wrestling a week or two later and doing well. So it's it's interesting to see, and it helps with rankings and helps kind of identify where guys are going and how good some of these younger guys really are, especially the backups. So.
Oh yeah, and I think that's like one of the things we talk about that a lot, like the depth of some of these programs. And I think it shows at freshman, sophomore. It'll show in 2 weeks at ISWA for some of the bigger programs. You're going to see guys that possibly couldn't crack the lineup at some of these programs, these top programs, that are going to be out there getting medals, right?
Yeah.
LeBron Hawk's all over you, bro. You got a fan. See what you're drinking on. They have the freshman, sophomore girls state there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So a lot of the same names that you see at the state finals this past year were in the mix there too.
Yeah, the girls are not. It's just all freshman, sophomore girls. There's no limit if you're a placer or whatever to go there. So,
Kendall Moe over Caitlin Rowles. So Kendall Moe, I know there was a lot of picks. I mean, obviously you had the pick'ems, but I think there's a lot of people that were picking her to qualify out of the Newcastle semi-state.
Yeah, she was in a good spot there for sure.
Alea Brown, Dominic Brown's sister, her other brother will be in high school next year. Can we do our incoming freshman next year too? Did we get our middle school rankings guy to film a 10-second segment of who he's going to predict that's going to be an incoming freshman? I mean, you can't ever know, the toughest opponent for 8th graders in the state of Indiana for wrestling is, grades, I guess. Passing 8th grade. Those guys can win national tournaments, but passing the 8th grade is incredibly difficult.
Yes, very much so.
105, Olivia Crawl over Kylie Kiefer of Daleville. I believe Olivia Crawl was in the mix at Girls State this year. Claire May of Roncalli. Anne Marie Schuler of Seymour. Isabel Kaplan of West Lafayette. I'm pretty sure that's our Mrs. Grilla's sister.
Yes.
Anna McCartney of Beech Grove, Kylie Benoit of Hanover Central, versus Angel Smith of Plymouth. I know that's Coach Smith's daughter. Kind of talked with him whenever she qualified. It sounded like nice. Rallis, quick cheerleading to wrestle. Not a bad choice.
Get my daughter
They said
to do
Angel
that.
Smith had broke her back this summer and worked her way back, was able to compete, which is really cool. And I was just kind of telling him that, obviously we were in a similar situation. They were telling her that she wasn't going to be able to compete with a broke back or a couple fractured spine vertebrae. And we obviously went through something similar like that with OC. And so we were kind of talking about that. So congratulations for her. Sounds like she's kind of going in the right direction for that and get healthy and keep going. Nevaeh Wilson of Midwest RTC and Emma Jones of Cowan. Namia Gafar of Northwood and Lily Colbreth of Kinky Valley. Charisma Lawrence, her dad was pretty good. He was a pretty good wrestler back in the day for Maryville. June Wagner Gilbert of New Palestine. Maddie Marsh of Pendleton Heights and Ava Allen of Silver Creek. Jaslyn Diaz Avalos of Franklin Community and Brianna Palmer of Portage. Reagan Tager of Eastside and Maylee Skinner. I know the Skinner family out of Madison. They've had a ton of wins.
Yes.
Mackenzie Shoemaker of Bremen and Ivan Rascavo of Goshen. If you guys don't know, I butcher names, man. My name's not the best. Paisley Chambers of West Dell and Sophia Group of West Dell. A little West Dell final at 170. Trista Powers of Terre Haute Salvigo and Brooklyn Nice of Madison Lady Cubs. Aubrey Bartowitz of Attica and Keely Allen of Greenfield Wrestling Club 235. I'm not gonna lie. One of the things that bothers me sometimes when I'm coaching softball is when they put lady in front of the name of whatever it is. The Lady Wildebeest.
The Lady Wildebeest.
I'm not really sure if there's I just use that in. I was trying to be the least offensive. I've never played a Wildebeest team, but if it's a ladies bulldog, it's still a bulldog. If you see a girl bulldog, you're like, oh, that's a cute lady bulldog. Yeah. So I don't know why they do that. If it's the bulldog, it's just a bulldog. So I think if you go over a lot of those names in the female wrestling, you'll see a lot of very familiar names that have pretty good lineage of wrestling families.
Yeah, definitely. And it's, obviously they're getting involved in wrestling and having a lot of success there, and it's pretty neat to see. And wondering oh, is that name has like you said, the Lawrence name, I wonder if that's it is. That's always cool to see, and always neat to see that kind of now that we're seeing girls wrestling, more of those same names that are very familiar with in the wrestling world. So yeah. So the boys, you can't be a state placer is the only qualification. And
thank you, Rex Brewer.
Yeah.
Brewer said Belmont changed the name to all Braves, no Lady Braves, just Braves.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't say they're the Squaws or something. I'm happy for that.
Yeah. Someone's always, yeah. It's just, yeah. The lady thing is kind of weird. I agree. I guess I've never really thought about it until you brought it up a couple times, and I'm like, that is kind of weird.
What, are they the Lady Braves and they just have a brave with a bow?
Yeah, it's a bow.
It drives me nuts, man. I don't like it.
Pet peeves of Mike Reiser. Let's see, seatbelts, calling something the lady Bulldogs. what did we just have a minute
There's
ago?
so many. I don't like, one of my biggest ones, and my friends make fun of me. I don't like to walk and eat. I feel like that's if I'm going to eat, I want to sit down and eat. I don't want to walk and eat at the same time. It drives me nuts. I don't know how people do it. I don't like it.
Oh, jeez. We'll have to start
and
a
I don't
list.
like people touching my face.
Nice. So, the boys division, Eli Ogle over Lucas Manning, Portage. Joseph Hamilton was a state qualifier. Caleb Morrow, state qualifier. Grant Holloway, state qualifier. Pretty deep weight class there, and some guys that are already had some success and probably looking to have a little bit more in the coming years.
Yeah, Eli Ogle really came on towards the end of the season. I thought, we had Cash Mays in the lineup in the rankings for a long time, and to get in and then to win a pretty good weight class at 106 there. I mean, you have a couple state qualifiers in there. Lucas Manning of Portage was a ticket rounder. That's a really good weight. There were some guys that didn't place that were really good too.
Yeah, good bracket overall. Obviously, one of these lower weights, these lower 3 or 4 weights are going to be really good, and guys that have probably gone to state and stuff. Obviously, once you start getting the middle and heavier weights, most of those guys probably didn't make it to state. So, and
you can't be a state placer from that year, correct? That's correct. The rule. You can't be a state placer in the season. So, like, if you placed at state this year, you can't. They don't allow you to go to freshman, sophomore state.
Yep. So, Justice Thrasher over Ethan Rose, Fabian Rodriguez, Ty Barnhart, Peyton Brummett, Griffin Weber. Pretty good, another good weight class, and kind of seen some names there that probably we haven't seen before, and it's like, oh, okay, so now you're kind of earmarking that name, like, okay, let's see how he does next week at Folk South State. Let's see how he does in the off-season random super duel thing and stuff like that.
Yeah, a lot of these guys we had on the watch list and stuff, like Justice Thrasher, obviously, he was in the rankings. Ethan Rose is a ticket rounder, I believe. Triple B trained, I believe. Fabian Rodriguez I did not have, and I know I had Ty Barnhart, I had Peyton Brummett. Those guys were on the watch list, so Fabian Rodriguez coming out for Southport Wrestling Club, that's a huge day for him. That's going to put him in the mix for rankings next year. Just those lighter weights are always really tough to kind of – it's a lot easier to like get the preseason rankings for the bigger guys than it is for the 13 or not, like 20, 26, 32 is pretty tough. Those are pretty deep weights in the preseason.
Yeah. 120, Josh Kite of Mishawaka over Burke Eisenhower, Heritage Hills. Heritage Hills had a real good tournament. Obviously, my clone helping out there. That helps out a little bit.
He's like the clone from like Free Guy though. Yes. He's like the Free Guy, and he's like the second Free Guy. Yes.
Wyatt Ulrey over Logan Haney, who has a state medal from last year from Crown Point. Will Haraski of Fishers, Aaron Newell, Duel of Lafayette Harrison, Owen Ingalls. I know he had a good season. Isaiah Bukamia from Hanover Central, that's another pretty deep weight class, top to bottom.
Yeah, really good. Bukamia is a guy that I know he trains a lot with Howe and those guys. He's come a long way in the last year. I know they're expecting him to do really well. Ingalls, really good season. Aaron Newell representing the Logansport Regional. Let's go, stand up. My guy Rustin Scholar, stand up, right?
Yes.
Will Haraski, dude, I feel like he was at everyone's notable wins. Like, he had some really good wins. He had some losses. Like, if you look at 120 in that area, I feel like he wrestled everybody. Logan Haney, just kind of like one of those guys you talk about that's unfortunate, like state medal, Crown Point, win a state championship last year. Just in a really tough spot in that room. Obviously, they had the state third placer at 120 this year. Wyatt Ulrey had a really good freshman season for Boonville. I think he only had 2 losses. One of those losses was to Burke Eisenhower of Heritage Hills. And then Josh Kite. Dude, Josh Kite killed. I think he's really turning it on. I thought he had a solid freshman year. And then he was in the mix this year, but winning that weight at 120, that's a huge win for Josh Kite. I think that's going to get him pretty high in the rankings next year.
Yeah. And so it's very important to go to these events. You get definitely on the watch list here. Real good finals at 126. Dom Brown was a qualifier last year. Brody is a 2-time qualifier. He didn't place last year, did he?
I don't believe so.
3-1. Peyton Richards.
I think he was freshman sophomore state champ from last year, Peyton Richards.
Yeah. Over Cullen Crowley. There's obviously a cathedral wrestler that wasn't in their lineup very much, and now is going to be one that's going to be looked at. Christian Tapia, Drew Zuckerweld from Madison will be trained. Maximus Quiros and Zach Kenny from Griffith. So Quiros had a real good freshman year, finished 7th, and tells you how deep that weight class is.
Yeah, Max had a really exciting first round of semi-state. I told you there was like a 24-20 match.
Yeah.
With Cam Woods. You start hanging 20 points. I mean, dude, you hang 10 points. There was guys that went to the state finals this year that didn't score 10 points in the semi-state and state finals. He scored 20 in one match. So, Drew Zuckerword, Club Madison, was not on the list. Christian Tapia, Portage, I know he was in the semi-state rankings. Fighting Irish got some really good young guys. Colin Crowley's one there. Peyton Richards, only loss, I believe, was in the ticket round. He had a tough draw. Eli Brody and Don Brown, that's been a pretty good rivalry. Those guys have gone back and forth. I think Eli Brody might have beat him right before the season. I believe Don Brown beat him at Al Smith. I know they traded. I think Dom's kind of got him 3 out of 4 maybe. Don Brown, really good. Qualified out East Chicago last year for Lowell. Went to Center Grove. Came out of the Mooresville semi-state. And then you turn around and you draw Isaiah Schaefer, state runner-up in the ticket round. So not an easy draw for Don Brown. You'd probably get the state champion in regional. Then you draw the state runner-up in the semi-state to go.
Yeah, pretty rough. 32, Warren Brown from Maryville. Lucas Day from Brownsburg. Obviously, Day is stuck in he needs to gain about 50 pounds for him to give himself like a spot. Just get out of that gauntlet of the middleweights of Brownsburg.
Yeah.
Dalton Robson and Lowell had a real good year. Cooper Watkins, another one from the region. Jaden Stillwagner, Cohen Kramer, Keegan Joaquin, and Parker Culp of Hamilton Southeastern. So, some pretty familiar names still there.
Yeah, I know Cohen Kramer lost to Matthew Maldonado. Jaden Stillwagner, I had him in he might have been on the outside of the rankings and the bottom of the rankings for a little bit. I think he's pretty tough, big-time Mauer Coughlin kid. Cooper Wilkins had a real solid year. Dalton Robson, I had him punching a ticket out of the East Chicago semi-state. Had a tough first round. You're right. Like, if you're 132 at Brownsburg, it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough. You have state champ in your weight. You go up, you got a state runner-up in your weight. You go down, you got a state third placer in your weight. Not an easy go, right? Warren Brown, huge for him. Like, just getting better as another guy that Paul Maldonado, who petitioned Paul Maldonado getting to the Hall of Fame bracket. Original Pick'em's champion.
Yes.
Warren Brown, he was a guy that told me Warren Brown was going to be really good. And he's really turning that corner. That's a good way for him to win.
Yeah. 138, Cohen Long, Caleb Kirkpatrick at some Jeffersonville regional crime right there.
It's a Columbus crime.
Columbus. Jeez, yeah.
Wrestle that right in Saraland.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's interesting. Interesting top 4 here. You know, we're seeing a lot of familiar teams, and then you got Grant Howard from Madison Grant, Sam Mosier from Delta. So some teams that were not. I mean, obviously Columbus East is and Delta have pretty good programs, but interesting to see those teams there. Dakota Willoughby from Red Hawk Wrestling Academy. That is, I know I put him in the database.
Is that Goshen?
No, I do not think so. It is.
Is it the IUN Red Hawks?
It is. No, it is. He's from Fountain Central. So you got Fountain Central, nice. Caden Bloggett from Greencastle, Enier McHugh from Roncalli, and then Jaron Frauhager from Southern Wells. So quite a interesting mixture of teams there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. There wasn't a lot of guys that I knew off that list. I knew Sam Mosier because he had a really good middle school state. Grant Howard's a huge win for him in the third place match. I know Madison Grant's team, smaller school, right?
Yeah.
Pretty small?
Yeah, they're pretty small.
Caleb Kirkpatrick went to see at Al Smith, real tough. And Cohen Long, a real tough freshman. I believe he was a middle school state champ also. That'd be a nice little rivalry going forward for those guys.
Yeah, 144, Wyatt Hoppus from from Yorktown over Jack Davis. Sudden victory. Wyatt Cooksey over Dallas Davidson. I know that's, pretty good top 4. Caleb Cooper, 5th. Knighton Houston from East Central. David Connor from Kokomo. And Noah Fields from Terre Haute South.
Yeah, I think this, you have a couple guys. Obviously, Caleb Cooper spent some time in the rankings. Dallas Davidson, I know, was in the semi-state rankings. We talk about it all the time. Wyatt Cooksey had one of the more exciting matches at Al Smith with Czar Walker. I think he'll be in the mix. Jack Davis, really good. My boys, shout out to my boys at Bishop Chatard. Stayed at our hotel, played all weekend.
Yes.
And Wyatt Hoppus, that's a good match. Wyatt Hoppus spent some time in the rankings, and 4-2 victory over Jack Davis is pretty good.
Yeah.
Go check out my guys' TikTok, man. Doing reviews of Indiana, right?
Yes. 150, Deacon Dressler from Gibson Southern. Moses Stevenson, Franklin Central. Sean Breedlove, Center Grove. Cameron Summers.
Nate Spangle, bro. I forgot. Nate Spangle got to get the plug, man. Go check out Nate Spangle on TikTok. He'll tell you where you go to food in Indiana.
Yeah. Heavy Hands is in the chat. So
let's go.
Yeah, so Stevenson from Franklin Central, Breedlove, Cameron Summers from Franklin, Riley Biddle from East Noble, Dalton Pledger from Heritage Hills, Simon Kuhn from Hamilton Heights, and Tyson Burrow from North Posey. So
I'll petition it, and if you wrestle for Hamilton Heights, you got to put down Iron Bear trained.
Yes. That's the two that they take to Virginia Beach.
Simon Kuhn, obviously his brother, has kind of been in there. Dalton Pledger, another Hamilton Heritage Hills guy. They're kind of building that all together. Riley Biddle, Connorsville champ, right?
Yeah.
I know I picked him in my Fort Wayne. Even though I won the Fort Wayne pick'ems, I did pick Riley Biddle to get out. I had him in that quarter bracket.
Sam Reason.
Yep. That's why I'm blaming my guy, Sam Reason. Cameron Sommers, Franklin Community, Tante trains. Sean Breedlove spent some time in the rankings. Real talented freshman from Center Grove. Moses Stevenson, I know he was in the rankings. We had to change his name because we had it wrong on there. And then Deacon Dressler, a guy that was in the rankings. I had him at Mater Day for half the year. So yes. He was never at Mater Day. I just seen him wrestling for Mater Coughlin and assumed that that's where he went. So.
Yes. 157, Lincoln Cooper over Isaiah Meyer. Boomer Hester from Charlestown. Kale Bonenberger from Evansville North. Cohen Jackson Davis from Hamilton Southeastern. Corey Tante. Lucas Anderson of Chesterton. And Brody Wingate. So pretty much a lot of these guys had spent some time in the rankings. Right outside
at least semi-state rankings, and I think that's a big thing too. Is like not only are we getting recognized in the big rankings, in the semi-state. I know a lot of these guys. I know Lucas Anderson was in the semi-state rankings. We got to see Corey Tante get the state. Hopefully next year, so we get that government name.
Yes, Corinthian
Tante. That we got to get that on the mic. Cohen Jackson Davis, Kale Bonebarg. I know he was in the rankings. I know he was because. I got a text right away that him and Myers was like first match. Mm-hmm. Myers, I believe, pinned him. He wrestled back in the 3rd and 4th place match. Myers has been in the rankings, and Lincoln Cooper's really talented. I know we touched on it during the season. I believe he was like a 132 middle school state champ. I'm not positive on that. I think he was 132, 126. And then when I seen his, I think he was at like 150 or 157, I was like confused. I was like, did your boys flip sides? He's like, nah, he just grew. So.
Yes.
Coach Cooper, congratulations.
Yeah. 165, Corey Fuller from Franklin Community. Obviously, Franklin had a lot of guys. They're a pretty young team, and then went and did some damage here. Elijah Geyer from Indian Creek. August Adams from Carroll over Griffin.
Is that Carroll of Fort Wayne or Carroll of Flora?
Carroll Fort Wayne.
Okay.
He is a Huntertown kid. I assume
that's my favorite, man.
It's just Carroll.
Bro, we were literally my favorite was that we talked about this, and then some kid went to the Carroll RTC, and he was at Florida. And I said, dude, I told you I wouldn't get mixed up.
Yeah. So Adams had a real good tournament, finishing 3rd. Griffin Larson, his brother, was pretty good at wrestling. I'm sure he's gonna continue to keep getting better at Avon. Israel Sonnet from Hanover Central. Sam Strader from East Noble. I was kind of looking, some of the matches. Like Strader was obviously a backup this year, and he gave Adams an overtime match early on, which is pretty impressive. Obviously, East Noble's having had a pretty good year and has some guys on their bench that might be pretty solid. William Roderuff from Tipton, and then Mason Thompson from Contenders, but I don't know.
Was he a Center Grove kid?
What?
Was he a Center Grove kid?
I do not. Where's he from? He is Greenfield Central.
Greenfield Central.
Yes.
Sanat was in the semi-state rankings. Griffin Larson had a really good win at the regional over Sean Breedlove. August Adams, that's a good one there. Elijah Geyer, Corey Fuller, that's going to be a good rivalry going forward with those guys. I think both of those programs have some good guys coming in that are young. I know Franklin's got some guys there. Obviously, they got themselves to Team State this past year. They have some good guys coming up to the middle school ranks, and Indian Creek also has some really good guys in the middle school ranks that will be in the program next year.
Yeah. Where's my bracket? There we go.
Sam Howard of Boonville. Really good freshman year. He only had the single loss over Xavier Smith Fishers. Was Smith a state qualifier this past year?
Yes. Yeah, he lost Friday night.
Sear Godwise of Perry Meridian. He was another guy that was probably on every single everybody's results at 175, right? He wrestled everyone this year. Xavier Palacios, a really good season for the Belmont Braves. I know he had a pretty solid Al Smith. Connor Hoare of Evansville Memorial. Me and Triple B both got an email about how good he was doing. I believe Triple P put him in his semi-state rankings. I did not, but he had a really good season. Declan Guard of Rochester, Coach Guard's son, lost to the semi-state. Really good season. Thomas Thompson of Lebanon. Do you guys call it Lebanon or is it just Lebanon? I call it Lebanon. Okay,
I believe.
Double check.
Yeah.
And then Graham Imes of Fishers. So a real solid weight there. Top 6 are guys that were in the semi-state rankings at least. 1, 2, 3 were in the state rankings. So, and I know a lot of those guys had some really notable wins. Obviously, Sam Howard, I think, was undefeated going into the semi-state.
Yeah.
Out of Boonville for a freshman. Also another guy that I had at Mater Day for some reason. Xavier Smith had a really good season. He's probably right on that cusp of sophomore rankings. Sear Godwise did a lot of work this summer, put himself in a good position. I think he'll be a force going forward.
Yeah.
Xavier Palacios 2-0 Southern victory lost there. So Belmont kind of replaces some of those big guys. I know they're going to graduate a couple really good guys.
I think he kind of got forced up a little bit with weight, and I don't know if he might be able to go down to 165 next year. I guess it'll depend on where Davis is, but obviously 175 he's not too bad at either. So
yeah, lift weights, eat and lift weights, right?
So yep, he was
have fun.
Rex, he was 4th there. Sam Howard's really good. Obviously only 1 loss, and he's gonna, 1 loss is a 175-pound freshman. That's pretty good. Last time we had a guy about that big that had 1 loss as a freshman. He ended up winning a couple world medals.
Yep. I think for those guys, go if he's got to be 175, and if he has to grow into that, go hit the 5x5. Start low, keep adding weight, and then eat a lot of steaks.
Yeah. So
they probably got a good meat market. I'm surprised Rex Brewer don't got a plug on the meat market for the Haggard, Hershey, and Zelt High School Wrestling Weekly. I'm surprised there's not a baker down in Belmont has a butcher shop.
Yeah, I'm sure they hunt deer down there. I'm pretty positive they do.
Dane's got a bunch of cows. You guys can't get some steaks from Dane?
Yeah, yes.
Different kind of cows?
They're not very well fed if he does too many guerrilla radios.
Dane, get these guys a side of beef, man. Let these guys eat.
Yes. So 190.
You see what happened? I got out of Decatur, got big.
They're all plumbers. Nice.
Yeah. I went to Purdue, started lifting weights, eating steaks. Now he's killing it. He's like 165, right?
He's 57, yeah. Yeah,
huge.
He's doing real well. So 190. My nephew, I'll call him my nephew for now on. Jet Goldsberry wins it over Austin Reading. So he's having a good.
That's his dad right now saying, "Shout out."
Yes. So obviously I look very similar to his dad, other than I'm like a foot shorter, but
at least a foot.
So, and not as good at the that football game. So he beat Austin Reading, who had a real good year. Spencer Fain, Floyd Central, Caden Thacker, Colin McMahon of Columbus East, Calvin Stewart, another Crown Point guy, Derek Morrison, Wallasey, and Landon Reynolds from Penn. So Penn's hiding out another 190-pounder.
Penn's got 3 pretty good 190-pounders that investment in their program, because I think their 215 could also be a 190-pounder. And then they got Vinny Freeman, who's also a pretty good 190-pounder. And this guy that took 8th is a pretty good 190-pounder. And I think they bring back their heavyweight, so there's not a lot of wiggle room up there, right?
Yeah, they're gonna, and they have a pretty decent backup heavyweight too.
Yeah. So he had a win over Coolman. So Derek Morris, Wawasee, kind of another tough spot because he had Donovan Blair ahead of him at 190.
Yeah.
Calvin Stewart, tough room, man. And there's not a lot of wiggle room up there. And we're probably about to get into it a little bit with Crown Point. If my guy Jamie's in here, he can give me a crown and a pointing finger. But Calvin Stewart, that's tough, man. Cal McMahon, real good underclassman for Columbus East. We see him at Al Smith, did really well. Caden Thacker. Hey, shout out to everyone at Modern Day that helped out in the hospitality room.
Yes.
A lot of love. We're going to hook Caden Thacker up, get him in the rankings next year, my guy. Spencer Fain, real good year for Floyd Central and Coach Sisson. Austin Reading kind of got upset at the regional or semi-state. I think he had some really good matches with Kenny Bisping. Was dealing with some outside of wrestling stuff, which I don't think is we don't always look at it that way. We don't always look at the big picture. We only look at the black and white. Like, you had a bad day on the mat. And so I think that's kind of trending better for them. And Jet Goldsberry, really, really tough sophomore for Heritage Hills. State qualifier as a freshman. I believe he was a tick-arounder this year. A really good athlete. His dad did tell us he'll never wrestle IPO because that's when he's playing football.
Yeah, he's quarterback. He's a quarterback. So I guess that's frowned upon if you're a quarterback to go just wrestle some random matches at a really tough tournament.
Especially, right?
So yeah. If we see Jet at IPO, there's something going on there, and it probably isn't a good thing. So no, that's perfectly fine. And what I find is it's pretty cool to see a quarterback wrestling. That's usually quarterbacks are usually prima donnas, but I know of some pretty good quarterbacks. I've had kind of coached one. There's 2 others that I had coached that were quarterbacks that made it to state. So
Alec Tatum for Hobart, freshman starting quarterback too.
Yeah, I might have to start that list because that's pretty impressive. And I think quarterbacks usually get that rap of being a prima donna, like basketball type kid, and wrestling is pretty good for quarterbacks too, especially if you run like an option type.
Well, I mean, I think they just want to be tougher, man. Trying to win state championships.
Yep. So 215, Kellen Fleur from Franklin over Mark. This is another weight class 2 Crown Point guys play. So
we can probably break some news on this one too if you want to break some news.
we can. And there's a third one that's coming in. Mark Gonzalez from Crown Point.
Maybe a fourth one. So we'll talk about it. We'll go.
Yeah. Devin Orman from Northview over at Zach Clark. His brothers are pretty good at wrestling. Braxton Lewis, Cascade, Lane Hewig from Evansville North, Caden Bays from Sullivan, and Alan Ortiz from Jay County.
I think Evansville North is doing a really good job. They're getting a lot of guys in the mix. You see them in a lot of results. They've really hit this event really well. Zach Clark, man, he had to wrestle that guy at practice and go home and wrestle that monster at home too.
Yeah.
So that's pretty tough. Yeah, that's my brother, man. T. Rye. He's a little taller, a little less handsome. Sometimes he gets confused as me. Sometimes I get confused as him. Devin Orman in Northview, Mark Gonzalez, sophomore for Crown Point runner-up. Kevin Fuller is a guy I think that's going to be in the mix for Franklin Community. I kind of wondered how long it would take for Coach Tante to get those bigger guys going. Every stop he's been at, he's had good heavyweights and 215s and 189s. So just kind of get his style put into place, and I think Franklin's going to take off. It sounds like it's pretty close to a done deal. Crown Point's going to add a two-time champ from Tennessee at 215. His mom missed or his mom or his aunt, whoever, one of his family members missed the Hall of Fame ballot. She's on the next one in. They're originally a Crown Point family. I think he's a really good football player. So sometimes the rich get richer. I believe he's like a runner-up and a two-time champ. He was in the finals of the Carnahan.
Yeah.
I believe he placed at Powerade. He's pretty good.
Yeah. Now that would be pretty good wrestling family. So maybe Grandma will make her re-debut on IndianaMat, causing trouble like she always used to do.
Bring it back to the board.
Yes.
You think she still remembers her password?
She probably doesn't remember the email address she used. But I'm sure she'll send me a message on Facebook.
And then, they're still in the mix. Rumor for like one of the top incoming freshmen too. That's like right in the 190, 215 area, and Cesar Salas. So, that's a pretty tough room. And a lot of those guys are pretty good football players.
Yeah.
You're talking about Mark Gonzalez, a good football player. So those guys are not going to leave. Zach Clark's a pretty good football player. I believe the Mental Attitude Award winner for the Crown Point football team was also like a 215, also backup for those guys. So, and I know they're in there wrestling Bags and Darden Shurg, D3 national champ. Begley wrestled at the Citadel. Used to kill people at the Calumet Room. I watched it with my own eyes. He wrestled Sylvester Turkey and Kurt Angle.
Nice.
So, big guys getting better at Crown Point.
Yeah. Speaking of big guys in Crown Point, Tony Brooks won 285. So that's impressive that they had runner up, and champ at the last three weight classes, which is not good for the rest of the state.
No, not bad at all.
William Glessing of New Pal, Job Maverick of Culver Academies, Gabe Jackson, Heritage Hills, Jackson Apple of Noblesville, Dylan Hale of Owen Valley, Carson Andreas of Greenwood, and Jackson Owens of Lawrence Central.
And this is like one of those weights because heavyweight's such a senior-dominated weight class. A lot of these guys that we see in here are guys that I'll probably follow a lot closer at the ISWA circuit because it's tougher to find good big guys, right?
Yeah.
My guy Heavy Hand said Gleason top 4. I thought New Pal did a really good job this year, and I know he was in the mix. Tony Brooks really good. I know it's a guy, I believe he's won almost every level. And I think he's like kind of getting more physically mature. But I know across the board, I believe he's been he went fall, 4-0, fall, and fall. And he's been in the room getting, really good matches the last couple of years. Or he's a freshman. So it's track doesn't have, but I think he's won like dang near every event, like every level coming up as one of the bigger guys. I know they're super excited about him. Gleason, New Pal's done a great job. They have a really young team. I think that group, Heavy Hands calling it right now, Harder Road, Coleman, Brooks, and Gleason. They said Brooks was wrestling really well down the stretch, was being a really good partner for the big guys, holding his own in that room. So they expect him to be in the mix next year, and top 4 right there. I wouldn't doubt if that's the top 4 going forward. I know there's some other guys that probably there's some 215s that move up, just holding that weight, but it'll be interesting. Max Forrester's probably going to be in the mix on that too.
Yeah. How much? always interesting because they actually do put the weights in there. The Garrett kid was 288.6 weighed out the first day. Woo!
Bro, he was big at Al Smith too. Remember we seen that?
I think he weighed like 287.0 or something. Probably gotta get him on a diet. Man, some of these guys are big boys. Whereas Brooks was 245, so he's still a little bit small compared to some of the other guys. But it's interesting, especially with the weights. You can kind of see where these big guys fall and if they might happen to just go down to 215. But it looks like most of these guys are going to be staying up for the most part.
Yeah, I think that's always like an interesting thing to see where those guys. I mean, heavyweight's a little easier, right? Like heavyweight, generally, if you're a heavyweight, you're going to be in that mix. It's when you start getting to like that 215, like if you're cutting there, and a lot of those guys are going to be doubling up with football. I mean, Zach Clark was 218. I can see Zach Clark having a big off season. You know, get those two bigger dudes out of the house. Maybe get to eat a little bit more, lift a little bit more. Yeah. Send those boys to Buffalo. Get my guy eating. David Blair's 217. So a lot of those guys, Mark Gonzalez is 215. I know he's a big football player, nose tackle on the football team. Like, they're going to be lifting. I know a lot of those guys were lifting right after state. Mm-hmm. Talking to Shep, like, he's like, yeah, I think the Monday, they might not have had school that Monday. Was it like President's Day or something?
Yeah, President's Day.
And he was getting a lift in with they have a really good strength and conditioning. Fan of IndianaMat. We got to get I keep saying I'm going to get him a T-shirt.
You got one for him, right?
I think so. I have a bunch of extra larges in there. I'm going to cut the sleeves off for him, hook them up.
Nice. Yeah, so not like as we said, that freshman sophomore state's huge, especially with anything like 150 and above, where you have a lot of seniors and earmarking guys that like, ooh man, this guy had he finished fourth. Not sure about this random guy here. I mean, Gabe Jackson for Heritage Hills. He might be out of a lineup spot for a couple of years because they're still pretty young up top. So
yeah, I think that was like one of those tough things because obviously a lot of those guys are getting better with those bigger guys.
Yeah,
and there's not a lot of wiggle room up there.
No,
I mean,
not.
You see it this year at Center Grove.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys do, but it's pretty. Especially the upper weights, like you look at upper weights for the middle school state, and
it was a gift, Rex. If I cut the sleeves off, it was a gift. I could do whatever I want. I'm wearing it next week. To the Hall of Fame show. Nice. I thought about wearing it tonight, but I was like, man, Joe might give me the business if I wear another shirt of the IndianaMat on this award show next week. Haggard, Hershey, and Zelt High School Wrestling Weekly, the HHZHSWW.
Yeah. So like if you look at the middle school state results from like the 189 or whatever they call it on up, those guys don't qualify for state at a very high rate, and you kind of lose track of some of them. Like, whoa, man, this guy won state. Where's he at? But this freshman, sophomore, these guys are a lot more likely to end up making it to state once they get through there. So it's pretty neat to see this, and it's a great event to kind of help with rank. It definitely is one of those 4 or 5 events that you probably look at throughout the off season to fill in ranking spots.
I don't believe that for a second, bro.
Jeez.
Because dude, everyone in Evansville told me that they thought I was shorter. That they thought I was gonna be shorter in real life. If they see Tony, there's no way they think that dude's shorter in real life.
Nice.
Yeah, this is a really cool event. It is one of the best ones that I look at. Freshman, sophomore, I looked a lot at 1A, 2A. I was disappointed when I didn't think they were going to have it. I'm happy that they're going to go on because I think that's an event I'm going to look at too, especially for semi-state rankings. If you're at 1A and 2A and you're competing, you definitely belong in the semi-state rankings. ISWA, because I want to see some of those older incoming guys kind of mixing in. Some of those guys that are first-year cadets are going to wrestle some guys with medals, and it's always interesting to see how those go. Yeah. Especially the top. I mean, we got Tony in the chat, but especially with some of those guys up top on the like youth board, like a guy like L, who's had wins over Boyd in the past. Guy like MJ Staples that's wrestled Arbery. Caesar Salas, who was third at IndianaMat. This freshman, sophomore, ISWA, folk style state more heavy than freestyle state, but I still take freestyle in. Obviously, IndianaMat because it's going to be closer to what I think you're going to be during the season. And those, I take those two results very in a lot of consideration.
Yeah. So no, it should be good. I mean, next week we'll probably have a little bit of a. I think next week we're going to do the Hall of Fame, and that's Hall of Fame members, first ballots, and then
First ballot.
And then we're gonna kind of restructure some of the grade rankings.
Yeah.
So, and then that should be, might kind of call it a little bit of a wrap. I don't know. I guess softball stuff's starting to heat up.
Yeah, we got tryouts coming up. I gotta go tell little girls that they can't play softball in high school.
Man.
No, we don't. Oh, no, we're having a meeting. We're not like Lake Central. We're not like 80 girls trying out. But man, I couldn't imagine doing that, right?
Yeah, that's horrible. No, yeah. So yeah, that'll kind of be our 180th episode. So we will. After that, I don't know what we're gonna do, but I know there's some events going on, and we might jump on here and there and talk some wrestling with ISWA State and stuff going on, and kind of just waiting to see if girls wrestling gets sanctioned. Maybe we'll have a emergency episode. I don't know. So
have like a breaking news thing.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That's my breaking news thing. It sounds kind of like
yeah, might have to talk to my friends at the IHSAA if hey, give me like an hour and a couple hours heads up if this is gonna break so that I can be prepared. And
I might show up to more ISWA stuff this year, depending on what my schedule is coaching. My nephew's wrestling District 7th at Elementary State, so Elementary State was this past weekend too. Same day, same venue as freshman, sophomore, both at Southport High School. So yeah. I'm gonna try to hit more of those events and see that, and obviously that's pretty cool for him. I keep telling my brother, make the trip down to Contenders, let him wrestle those guys for a little bit. I seen a lot more people did the Meet the Champs thing, which is really cool. I know Crown Point brought all their medalists in, and they were signing autographs. I know the Fort did it, which was really cool.
Yep, I was over there. They had a real big turnout of kids, all ages, sizes, and stuff. It was real good night at practice, and so some real good, just some good wrestling, and it's good to see a lot of those guys, especially in the Fort Wayne area, and girls, getting better and working hard.
Shout out to our border brothers, Mount Carmel taking down the state title in Illinois. I think beating a team that beat them in Joliet Central Catholic, then knocking off St. Charles East, who was I think ranked ahead of them in the nation. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had a good tournament, a tough semifinal, and did what they need to do. And they about half their guys are from Indiana anyway, so that's good to see.
Yeah, and it sounds like they're going to get another good clip of Indiana guys next year too. So just making the region a little bit less competitive.
Yes, Cercis is plucking the region of the best wrestlers. So
that's what I said. I blame my brother. You got one. 256-0 sounds a lot better than 255-1, Tony.
So, anything else we want to talk about tonight? I know, real good episode. Congratulations to all the winners.
Yeah. And those guys all those guys get awards.
Yes.
Do they have to come to your house and pick them up?
Well, I gotta get them printed and everything, and yes, they will. So, yeah.
So if you win an award, you get a T-shirt too. You get a T-shirt with it.
Not usually, just because it's a little bit harder to get everyone's sizes, and it's hard enough to get addresses and stuff. So we'll get you guys hooked up. So I'll send some stickers and stuff. Those are easier. Throw in there.
One. Heavy Hand said he missed it. I mean, we're about to go off here. You can go back and watch it, or just give you a quick recap. 1A, Rossville's.
Yeah, I got to do the article too. Yeah. Let's see. Let me pull up the thing. It's all on our social. I posted all the graphics. So 1A wrestler Noah Weaver, 2A wrestler Mitchell Betts, 3A Doster, 4A Jake Hockaday, Girls Coach of the Year, Lynn from New Haven. 1A coach, Abbott. LeCount, 2A. Sisson, 3A. Snyder, 4A. Assistant coaches, or coaching staff, Brownsburg. And then the Miss Gorilla, Ella Genovaski of Lake Central was third. Vardizzi Bachelor, second. And first was
Rose
Kaplan. Mr. Gorilla, second was Will Clark. Third was Kyra Lavelle. Second was Will Clark, and first was Wyatt Creja. So yes, I had that wrong on my list. But
who stickers? You got Joe sticker on the stall, bro. That's my fear, man.
Be running.
The Hall of Fame nominees still open. Team Garcia and Maddie B. This might be a all Evansville sweep. It might be like the state finals all over again.
Oh, jeez. Mooresville Regional or Mooresville Semi-State.
All over again. Ancient Elder with 9. General Heavy Hands with 9. The Fort Wayne representative. I think that's just how the state went. It's my nightmare all over again. No one from the region is going to make it.
Who do we have from the? We have Region Rat and
just Region Rat and
Wrestling Scholar representing the Logansport Regional.
I know. Brick for 6 gave him the vote though.
Yes. So we gotta. Man.
They're gonna probably put this at whatever establishment everyone goes to in the county. Man, you got coaches on here already voting for these guys.
Oh.
The real now we got to stuff the ballot. We in the region we're close out to Chicago. We can stuff the ballot. Are we gonna get a flood of all these new screen names? How many emails can you make in an hour?
The one time for Mr. Gorilla, we had like a vote on the board, and around that time we were having trouble with people creating spam accounts, so I had to manually approve all these accounts, and they were just voting for I think it was Eli Stock is who they were voting for Mr. Gorilla, and I just got to a point where like, dude, you guys are just creating new names to vote, and I just kind of stopped approving everybody.
I don't know who won Mr. Gorilla that year, but Eli Stock was the lowest ranked wrestler to ever win a state title in Indiana. I voted for Mr. Gorilla, number 1. Congratulations, Eli Stock.
Yeah. So congratulations, all the winners. Vote for your Hall of Fame nominees. It looks like it's gonna be a good race. So we're gonna do the top 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So top 5 here. We'll get in first ballot, and then we'll go from there. So I think I'm pretty certain that most of everyone here will be on the in the Hall of Fame within 3 years. If not obviously half of them are gonna be out in the first year. So.
Oh, but what if someone comes in behind and that's someone's favorite poster? I already got my vote locked in for next year.
Oh, you already
365. I know who I'm voting for. First pick.
Jeez. Yeah, we'll probably do this a little bit. Maybe we'll start the voting during the state tournament while we have a lot of heat, and just to create some more drama.
I'm gonna wear a shirt that says "Free Dog Pound Red." He's 5 years in Earth though.
He has to get 5 years in. He's starting off hot. He is starting off hot.
I know.
He's been
a little. I don't know, man. I feel like once you take it on the chin like that, you gotta go out there and wear it, man. He's kind of laying low right now, and I don't like that.
Yeah, maybe he's trading with Garcia. If I were him, I'd be going to the county and training with Garcia and trying to, how do you keep that energy up every year?
I know. Hey, he's definitely got to get his memes up. I seen Garcia making all the memes for the board. Yeah. Perfect, man. The gifts, perfect.
Yeah. So yeah, he's got to. Garcia. He could probably put a training course together for you if you really want. Maybe write a book or something. So, it looks like he might be a first ballot Hall of Famer. We'll see.
It's looking that way, right?
Yeah. It's early. It's early. We still got a few more days of voting. 29 people voted already. Maybe more. We're at 31.
Do we post on our social medias too, or just on the board?
I was going to put a link on the social media probably remind people throughout the weekend and everything to vote, to get them to drive them a little bit more to the site and get some. People need to vote. It's a people's vote.
It's a people's vote.
Yes.
We're not handling it all. I put my vote in. Joe put his vote in.
Yep, and I did it with one of my burner accounts too. So
if you didn't know, his burner account is Matty B.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I think we're gonna get out of here. Yeah, went a little bit longer than I anticipated, but a good night. Hopefully, everyone has a good week, and we'll be back next Monday for hopefully a shorter episode, but fun episode. And thank you guys for joining us.
See ya.